James Scarlett. We go again.
Yes, mate. How are you doing? Are you okay?
I've accepted that I thought I had the clout to take on November and win, and I didn't. I didn't have the clout to take on November and win. I don't think I had a sober day in November. Maybe the first couple of days in the month before Damnation kicked off properly, I was planning for it. But from Damnation, which was obviously a wild weekend, into the celebration of how Damnation went, into Egypt, into we will discuss in this podcast, me going to Radiohead and fucking LLNN and fucking Kneecap last night. I just got up this morning like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm finished with this whole man. Fucking find me somewhere to hide. So aye. I wish I was just telling you I was in tip top shape, James, but I need a week of just hiding. And to be honest, that's not coming either. That's not coming either. Like even tonight, I was supposed to go out and get Begley, which would turn into that would have been his Saturday because he's got a night off in Glasgow. So that'd be messy. And then I've got like old Italian friends that I know for Dumfries who are having like their Christmas do on the Thursday, and then it's my psycho pals Christmas do on Saturday. And even if I can get through this week, it's like, oh well, what have I got to do next week? Go on tour with you. So it's like then what happens up at fucking Christmas itself. So I'm feeling a wee bit fragile and sorry for myself at the moment.
Mate, you got to leave some gas in the tank for next week. Fucking hell.
I'll try.
Fuck.
I'll try because it's proving difficult. Bye.
Particularly as we're going to be sleeping rough on the streets and walking from gig to gig because we have no transport and no hotels.
We have a tour manager, so it's all fine. I'm sure as long as you get a credit card, they will all be sorted in a very professional manner.
Yeah, it will all be okay. I'm good, mate. So I'm just drinking a Dimcure black lager, which arrived through the post today.
And it's pretty incredible. I'd marked it for later and to chat about later on, but it's pretty incredible. This band that like couldn't have a bass player 3 months ago now have their own beer, and I believe we're going to talk about a vinyl at some point. And I hope you noticed Gavin McInally's quote on the side of the can. First time I've ever had that.
What does it actually say?
It says the best extreme music to come out of the UK in 2025, Gavin McInally, Damnation Festival / 2 promoters, 1 pod. So it's nice to get a bit of recognition for the festival. That doesn't happen often these days. Usually it's just the podcast. So thank you for at least leaving the festival in.
Is that the best thing that's ever happened to you? Like, it must be up there with your kids being born. Your quote is on the side of a can of lager.
It's weird because it's always fucking lager. I'm just not a beer guy. So, I mean, what the fuck is black lager? Is that just them having a play on them being a black metal band? Because, I mean, I'll try it. Should I try it?
Nice. Yeah.
Fucking hell, not that.
I'm pretty sure it's of black colour. I can't say it currently, but.
For Dimcure, this one's for you lads, okay? Because I am not drinking, have not been drinking today. In fact, this is maybe the first episode and what? This is in 97, 98, where I am drinking water, albeit with diluting juice, or as you idiots would call it, squash, in a bottle. So, how long we went into the podcast? 3 minutes. Cheers, Dimcure. Oh, that's it's very like lager. It's so, no, James, it's not the greatest thing ever because it should be a can of cider, and then to decide that I want my quote in a can of cider. How difficult is it? Why don't we ever get specialist ciders?
One day, James from Weston's is going to do us a 2 promoters, 1 pod cider, I reckon, and you'll be well happy.
That'd be the fucking best thing anyway.
Talking of Weston cider, mate, I have actually found some Weston cider hiding in my attic from the last tour, which I will bring with me next week.
I love a wee Western cider. So enough of my bitching and moaning just because this is one of these ones where like I was complaining that I was feeling tired after 6 weeks of holidays around the world, and I'm like, oh sorry Gav, you got to go like guest list to Radiohead and fucking Kneecap. So tell us more of your woes, mate. So how are you?
Good. I mean, fucking we had all that moaning last week about being too busy, and I think it's only got worse since then. So I'm going to try to avoid that because I think the podcast is not supposed to be us moaning about how hard life is. And my fact of the week is a positive one, a beauty. Now, look, it's hard sometimes with sort of sales of festivals and lineup announcements, and to always be honest, like it's always, your sales are always amazing. Your sales are always more than last year. You're always more happy with the lineup than you were last year.
Well, to be fair,
This is the best lineup ever.
Damnation, we don't do as well. Like, yous all do that. All of yous do that, but Damnation doesn't.
Well, since the podcast started, you've not had a bad year, so we'll be the judge of that, mate. But so look, all my comments about the ATG lineup last week were genuine. I do think it's got potential to be the best one, or certainly up there. And the weird thing about releasing lineups for Arctangent is, that the hardcore are gonna, whether they're gonna fucking be like, fuck yeah, come on. You kind of know, but what you don't know is really what the reaction will be like in terms of ticket sales. And it's been fucking phenomenal. And like in our 12 years, we're miles ahead. In fact, because this is the fact of the week, I'm going to tell you actually how far we are ahead. So we have sold 75% of the tickets that we sold in total last year. What I mean is, it's December the 1st, and we are currently sat on 3/4 of what we sold last year in total in fucking the end of August. So that's like not comparing like with like, is it? So let's compare like with like, and I'll give you that fact of the week as well. So we are 77% up on where we were this time last year, which is nearly double. It's getting on for double. We are a good week of sales away from being double where we were this time last year. We're like, I'm just going to keep giving you numbers. We're 25 weeks ahead of 2025 sales. If we sat here if we took tickets off sale today and didn't sell another ticket for 25 weeks, we'd be on, in 25 weeks time, we'd still be on the same point we were last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And this is, you cannot give me any promoter like chat on Factory Week. It's sacred, right? So that's fact.
Yeah. Simon gave me these numbers earlier on. I mean, look, he keeps sending, sometimes over the years, he sends a graph every week, and sometimes it's stressful. You're like, sales have flatlined a bit recently, or whatever. It's not going to be as good as last year. In fact, last year, ATG sort of, it started off ahead of 2025, started off ahead of 2024, and then they slowly got closer, and then they passed each other in the wrong way. And then towards the end, 2025 really rallied and caught 2024 up. So actually, broadly speaking, those 2 years ended up almost very, very close to being the same. So you never really know how the year's going to go. But this graph, I just keep staring at and being like, fuck me. We've done 12 years of festivals at ATG, and this is just miles. When I say we're 77% up real time, that means we're more than that against every other of the 12 years. So it's just like fucking, it's great.
And it's not all down to the podcast. It's also because of the headliners and that have been great.
Do you know what? If you could tell what made tickets sell, you'd be a fucking you'd already be retired, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd already be retired. It's like I was talking to Tom Begley about that the other day, about the stock that came back for Damnation and the sizes, and what we've got left for the two promoters, one pod we go to, and that exact thing. If anybody anywhere could ever give you that breakdown, be it for Pins and Knuckles or Big Scary Monsters or a merch manager like Tom who's been out with arena bands, that you could get, you always combine, they're just like, why do we have like 42 3XLs and no smalls and that, and then we've got no smalls? It's like every year it just goes out, and that's the exact same way I would say for, well, if you could tell what you get your ticket sale through, was it the Met ad that you paid for? Was it starting a podcast? Was it the fact your lineup was great and the agent was right on that one, that band? It'd be great if somebody clicked a wee box and told you.
Yeah, and unfortunately there are not even the customer. If you ask the customer, why have you bought this year? They don't even know, because it's complicated, isn't it? It's like, I think it being a sunny year last year helped, that it being genuinely running smoothly and the vibe being fucking great really helps. But our sales team of, like, Mitch and Si and Danielle and Rob and all the sort of press and marketing teams and stuff and social media teams, they've all upped their game. So there's definitely an element of like just being better at converting. basically, there's one thing for someone to think they want a ticket, but actually to make them fucking buy a ticket, I think is quite a skill. But I also think once you get into, by the way, it's absolutely hammering it with rain.
I know.
Here.
There's a lot of static coming through in your mic. Is that just that?
Sake.
No, just there. Just started. Is the rain just absolutely pouncing off the bottom of your?
Yeah. Deal with it, Shifty. Make it
make the rain stop.
Go away. So, there's not a lot we can do about that, is there?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, fuck, if it rains heavy for a bit, it rains heavy for a bit.
So, it's just belting off my roof. But so there's loads of things. But part of me thinks if you get festivals that are sort of on the up and festivals that are on the decline. But if you're on the up and people love it, and you keep doing good lineups every year, which I think is a place that all three of our festivals are at right now, you're just going to sell more tickets each year just because everyone's telling their mates. And everyone that came wants to come back again, and they want to bring 3 more friends. And there's just it's like a fucking, I feel at the moment without a tangent, it's like the snowball has gone off the fucking mountain.
Yeah.
And it's just rolling down now, and it feels all easy to sell tickets.
And what you need to be, and you've seen this with other events as well, we never get complacent. Never get complacent. Don't ever think that ticket sale is definitely going to be guaranteed or that person will come back. Make sure that, just treat it like, okay, well, no, I need to, now this fan is now getting themselves, or ticket buyers get themselves into a situation where they view the event with such high regard. I better try harder because I'm not letting them down. So it's like the lineup needs to be stronger. Whatever it was, even if it was a minor complaint for 4 years, needs to be addressed. We need to move the festival forward because these people know that that's what they expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Tweak it a bit every year, but the lineup is the key. That's why they're coming to Arctangent. Get it. You can't be the best every year, but get it as close as you can. And to be honest, I knew people were going to love that lineup this year, and they did. It didn't feel like a risky lineup, although they're not, as we talked about last week, they're not, some of the names aren't the big heavy hitters of like an Opeth.
Yeah. I mean,
they're much more niche.
Even Primus, all 3 of them, are a bit like, so Cult of Luna and Julie Christmas, you don't have those, there's no sales data for that particular show. Chelsea Wolf, okay, she sells fine in the UK, but it's no Mastodon or Opeth, whatever. And then you've got Primus, who, as you said, they haven't been here in 10 years or whatever. So it's not an ideal. It's not, if you're sitting there and you've got Mastodon, Devin Townsend and Opeth on the poster, you're a bit like, you've got pretty solid data about how those 3 sell pretty consistently in the UK, but you just don't have the headliners we've got there. Yeah,
no, absolutely. So,
well, that's good.
P days.
I'm going to say, well, I'm going to add a wee bit, just not even so much a fact, but when you're talking about the ticket sales and how things go, we've got a situation now that each year it starts ahead of where 2022 would have been. Where 2022 was damn near a sellout. That was one with Converge and Pig Destroyer doing the special albums. But what happened is when Ministry dropped off, and then we flipped it into the Jane Doe and Prowler on the Yard and Streetcar, we saw this huge spike over the week of, 600-700 tickets. So I'm doing that graph like in my head. I'm watching the full years in front of me, but I know for a fact that even if this one's a wee bit ahead, when it gets to that week, it's going to jump by 700. Yeah. And there's been a couple of years, we've been like, Paul, if we ever catch him back up with that 2022, then this year we got there. We got to the same sort of number that was there in 2022. But it's always like, even an amazing start for Damnation now, but like, there's always that blip, that sort of like, it'll be hard to see how do you lose a headliner and then just improve the lineup that you've got and then have such a spike ticket sales. It was bizarre, and it probably never be repeated. So you just always want to keep in mind that we've had a great start this year, but we still need to be 600 or 700 tickets up by the time you get to, where was that, September, October, by the time that happens. So that's a wee take in my fact a week of your ticket sales or so. And congratulations to you all anyway. I'm glad because it deserves it. It's fucking a lot of tangents. Such a good weekend anyway, and the lineup's good. I think people are really, really switched on to the whole bill now, like the right to the bottom.
Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it. So next, following on from that, I wanted to talk about sort of lineup leaks. There's a few of these things have happened recently. I don't know if I told you about this, but Miley, who Miley does photography at Arctangent and has worked for a number of bands at Trees. I forgot to tell you that when I was emailing the booking agent about Chelsea Wolf, I needed to CC Miles into an email, and I actually CC'd Miley into the email. And because you just write MIL and then click enter and it goes. So there's some people like Miles and Mitch that I'm so used to CCing on stuff.
Yep.
That I just type the first 2 letters and click enter. And I'd obviously gone on autopilot and I fucking put Miley on this email. Not only did it have all the financial deal with Chelsea Wolf in it, it also had every other band that we'd booked, or even probably some that didn't end up getting booked. And
mate.
But this is fucking ages ago as well. This is well before the deal actually got done. This is at least a month ago. And like, fair play to... So at that point, Miley, if I'd done that to the wrong person, they would have just leaked the shit out of that. And that'd have
Yeah, I
gone
mean,
everywhere.
it caused you some... Because it, like, okay, that's a very, very honest thing. There's Paul Farrington, who is the guy who looks at me at Damnation. For some reason, despite all these years later, I always copy him, Paul Farrington. It wants to go to a big agent, Paul Ryan. That I managed to catch it. I managed to catch it all the time. And at least if I'm saying to Paul, any chance you can get that website updated for next week, and it goes to Paul Ryan instead, you'll be like, oh, no drama done. But in fact, you're sending all the financials and all these bands to a photographer with a similar first name. Fuck's sake, you're lucky it was Miley. So how did that? Who spotted it was Miley after it was sent?
So Miley said to me, just so you know, this has happened. I think sent me a message on social media saying this is what you've done, and I was just like, fuck me. I'm really like, please don't tell anyone. Don't think that even telling one person is a good idea. Like, this is how these things get out. So I think it was fucking brilliant. A very classy move from Miley not to tell anyone, but to make sure that when she saw me at Damnation, she
because there was a comment on something. I mean, this was only like maybe last week, and it was like a wink and a nod to one of the comments. I was like, she's part of the industry, and she was working sort of helping artist liaison at this year's Damnation. So she's, I mean, you do that when you trust somebody as well. When you like, you're not going to be there just to be like, oh, what sort of state secrets can we get? Oh, I caught a band in a fucking dressing room smoking a doob, and now I'm going to go and post on the internet. It's like, no, I'm glad. So, but that's that Mars would still collapse when I found out anyone out with that circle of trust was copied in the fucking festival's financials.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, the agent was none the wiser, so it was fine.
Why did you just tell the agent then? What's wrong with you,
mate? The agent's not listening to this.
Yeah, it's everything you said. Everything you say, the agent's not listening. That's the next day's phone call.
Yeah, good point. Well, there was also there's been a few other leak type things happen to us recently. So there was the Creeper one at 2000 Trees, which I feel now able to explain to people. So we haven't talked about this yet, have we? And so basically what happened is I made an offer for Creeper to play 2000 Trees, and it all went down to the wire, and we eventually I basically sent the agent the artwork to be like, this is what it will look like with Creeper on it. And then it got so down to the wire that I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to confirm that I sent it out to some other agents with Creeper on it. So there was only one band on that whole poster that wasn't confirmed. I don't normally do that. It's like quite an unusual thing. Anyway, eventually me and Creeper couldn't come to an agreement on this year. So Creeper were taken off the artwork. But of course, fucking bands just can't do it properly,
James,
can they?
James, just listen to me, because I feel like you already know this. If I don't play, just put a big horrible draft over the top of it.
You need to talk to Rob, mate. Talk to Rob. But you're right.
Because no one ever shares. Not like, because we do that. Because sometimes you get a situation, there's 3 or 4 moving parts with the bands, and 2 of the bands are 99.9% and one's certain, but it's still like the agents, how's that going to look with my band on it? So you're about like, I'm sending you these 2 bands, it may be that they never ever confirm, and I know that you're going to fucking send this to somebody else, and then it's going to appear in some corner, isn't it? So just that big horrible transparent drafting, because no one shares that. No one puts that on it. Rob, save your brother some heartache, mate. We're going to just stick draft across the copy.
So you are correct. But what makes me feel happier about that is that obviously Slam Dunk had that problem as well, didn't they? So we haven't talked about this either, I don't think.
I suppose.
Have we? Or have we?
Right, so here's the fucking thing with the Slam Dunk thing. this was was it Malevolence? No, Knocked Loose.
No, it was Not Loose. Yeah.
So it was Knocked Loose. So then someone spotted that it was leaked elsewhere, brought it to the forum. Then we discussed it. We discussed it at the time that I thought it had already been fixed and Knocked Loose
On the podcast, yeah.
So then I was like, and you're like, it'll be fine. I'm like, no, it won't be fine. So because what we're doing now is, because it's been leaked elsewhere, we're bringing it to a podcast with a bigger platform to re-leak it after Slam Dunk have done whatever they could to do it. So then we edited out that entire section. Shifted, took that whole entire section of the podcast out. So now we can talk about it because Knocked Loose have now been added to Slam Dunk.
So we speculated at the time as to what the hell had happened. Why were Knocked Loose on this poster that got shared? Look, just like Creeper, it got shared by the band said the wrong poster, and Knocked Loose were on it, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute, Knocked Loose aren't on this announcement." So, and one of the options we speculated on is that Knocked Loose are on it, and for whatever reason, couldn't go out on that announcement, and someone had shared the wrong artwork, which it turns out was correct, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they are now on Slam Dunk's lineup. So,
and annoyingly, do you know when they were actually announced for it? The day after the pod came out. So like, because it was like we just
edited it.
It was like a fucking 30-second conversation, because we ended up getting quite deep and Knocked Loose a bit. But like, and suiting all these, like, one of those rare bands that suits everything from Leeds Red and Bloodstock right through to Trees, Art Tangent, Damnation, Outbreak. I mean, they're just so fucking across the board popular with all those fan bases that download the work and everything.
Yeah, they're too fucking cool, aren't they? Everyone wants them. Everybody wants them. So could have seen them at 2000 Trees many years ago if you'd come.
Well, listen, don't say me. I went to the swamp years. I was there for the dark days.
Yeah, that's well pre Knocked Loose. You were. Talking of the dark days, my life has got so dark that this week I watched a Taylor Swift documentary, and I feel that it's somewhat confessional. I need to tell people that I did this. Now, I'm still not entirely sure why I watched it, but I really like music documentaries. I think we've talked about this, but I was on Netflix and I just wrote music documentary, and I ended up watching 10 minutes of an Ed Sheeran one, which is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. So I went back and then watched the Taylor Swift documentary, and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I don't actually listen. When I say I don't listen to Taylor Swift, obviously I don't listen to Taylor Swift, I suppose, but I don't actually really know Taylor Swift's songs. You've got a teenage daughter who likes Taylor Swift, is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I know that. I've also now got a 7-year-old daughter who, for the last couple of years, has always kind of been in Taylor Swift as well. So yes, I have heard a lot of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so I'm not really aware, but what I am aware of is that she's the biggest fucking artist in the world, or certainly in the top 5 or 10 biggest artists in the world. And it's just I do appreciate that these documentaries are made by the Taylor Swift team, so it gives you what they want to give you. But I found it really quite fascinating that she's basically the songwriter, and the pressure of that, which is like, she goes into a meeting with her management and there's like fucking 10 people around this massive boardroom table, and she's telling them like, oh yeah, the new album looks like it's going to have 16 songs on it or whatever, and they're all clapping, and then each time she goes back and rewrites an album, and it's not like being in a band where you're like 4 people fucking all in it together. She's just on her own, tinkling away on the piano, playing guitar, and it's fucking pretty mind-blowing thing to be a stadium artist.
Yeah.
That is responsible for about 1 billion people's jobs and fucking the share price of, no doubt, some corporation record label. And it just felt like a massive thing. And I think the reason it felt like a massive thing is because she is so normal.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're getting that through the lens of how they put it, but that's always been from what I've seen or heard or read, and because I mean, she's been put through some shit. I mean, like, everybody gets that popular is just going to have incredible amount of haters who just can't stand to see other people successful. And we had just been a young, attractive woman at the time. It was like, so that fucking slut shaming kind of stuff. It was like, oh, how many boyfriends you got this year? Like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? It's like, you wouldn't do that to a guy. I mean, you wouldn't do that to Ed Sheeran. You'd be patting him in the back. So why the fuck is that a thing? And there's a lot of that shit that, even in a lot of her lyrics and the songs, it's all very much the focus and like how, like, I think she went through a spell it, but it seemed to be like, oh, nobody can put up with you. You're such a fucking diva. That's why you're going through these boyfriends. Like, fucking hell, that's rough for anyone. Never mind the spotlight on you fucking 24/7 as a young American artist.
Well, there was also this whole section of it where she's never given her political affiliation at all, and everyone thought it was because she was like a fucking right-wing Nazi, and it turns out she just didn't want to get fucking beaten down by the right-wing Nazis. And like, she came out for like a Democrat in America, and they filmed the whole thing around it, and she's, I don't know, again, I suppose it's them showing you what they want you to see, but she was shitting herself. Like, it was really, it made me feel like, fuck me, it must be scary to be that famous.
I mean,
To be
does
on
it go
your
into
own.
the whole American football stuff? I mean, she changed the trajectory of American football and the popularity in a whole new demographic with people who are tuning in to watch these sports. And we get stuff, it's like, imagine, I don't know, a 14-year-old girl who does not give a shit about English Premiership thing, and then suddenly this superstar Florence the Machine, whoever gets in tow with an English Premiership player, and then they'll be like, okay, well, I'll get a Florence the Machine likes it, I'll give it a look. And then I go like, so explain the offside rule and why can the goalkeeper no this pick it up when it gets passed back to him? That was kind of things where people are posting on these NFL threads because Taylor Swift went to end up with some, is it Travis Kelce or some fucking linebacker, quarterback or some fucking hamburger. So like, it's just mad. She's using so much unbelievable power and influence that she probably never asked for on this. Like, coming out for any political parties, like, especially in America, because you're Satan, no matter what direction you go.
Yeah. That isn't in the documentary, I think, because it was made before that. The weird thing is, I know all about that American football. I'm not even sure why I know, because I don't follow Taylor Swift. I guess she's just so famous.
It was so all-encompassing. It was like, your algorithm could even dodge it. It was just like, fucking Taylor Swift it was the thing, and then she was going out with this guy and this was one of the world's worst sports, and you're like, why would I care about that really though? But just then the power that she brings to it, and just the whole that fucking madness that surrounds all the circus, that's just it's insane. So I'm glad. So you enjoyed that, basically. You'd recommend it?
I would. Yeah, I'm not being like, it's not like the greatest piece of art ever made, but I would definitely watch it.
It's not the Mars Volta documentary. It's not you watching a guy twiddling away on a couch.
No, it is not. So back to, I mean, the only podcast in the world that goes from Taylor Swift to Dimcure. So we have some news to tell people, which is that Big Scary Monsters, the record label, are releasing Dust Eater by Dimcure on vinyl, right? On the 20th of February, it comes out on vinyl. This is the first time the record's been on vinyl. And this is cool, right? For a number of reasons. Firstly, obviously, lots of people love the record, none more so than Gav. Secondly, Big Scary Monsters are a label that are very, very close to my heart and like hugely involved in Trees and ATG. So Kev, Gemma and Josie and the whole team, they run our merch. Anyone who's been into the merch tent at either of our festivals, hopefully will no doubt tell you how brilliantly it's run and how efficient it is. And also, they run this fucking great record label, BSM, who I've got a list of bands that are on BSM currently that I have booked. Alpha Male Tea Party, American Football, By Curious, Delta Sleep, I'm the Avalanche, Jamie Lenman, Kevin Devine, La Dispute, Lakes, Lambrini Girls, Love Rarely, Michael Sarah Palin, Orchards, Other Half, Poor Kids Thank, The Fall of Troy, The Ghetto Kids. It fucking goes on and on and on. They are basically a brilliant fucking label. Anyway, this is cool because they have signed the heaviest band that has ever been on Big Scary Monsters by a fucking mile in Dimcure. And we get to tell you some exclusive news, which is that pre-orders launch for the public at 10 a.m. on the 4th of December, which is Thursday. Checks the calendar. But if you are listening to this podcast before 10 a.m., there is an early bird link for Two Promoters, One Pod listeners So you can get the first crack at 6 a.m. when this episode goes live. And there is a secret link which can get you an exclusive signed and hand-numbered print. It's like a 2 promoters, 1 pod exclusive version of this. So the link is bsm.rocks/Dimcure pod. I'll read that again in a minute. But the vinyl's fucking cool. It's black and blue galaxy thing, and the album's good, right, Gav?
Fucking utterly incredible, obviously. But the thing is, as well, like, a lot of this is new because I've been in the email chain, but also I have been in the thermal dryer. So I'm about like, I know something good here's happening. I'm like, okay, there's a vinyl coming. I'm like, this is incredible. And also, so is mine just getting sent, or Danny go on here and try and beat you to like pressing number 1?
Well, so in this exclusive one, they're signed, hand numbered, and they've got like a print with it. They're limited to 100, right? Which actually Kev wrote in his email. This means 98 because 2 are coming to me. 1 comes to me and you. When they're gone, they're gone. The link is bsm.rocks/Dimscurepod. bsm.rocks/Dimscurepod. So, fucking yeah. You like all that, Gav? You feeling that?
I think that's fucking incredible. I've loved so much for those 100 to be for people to go and snap them up and have them and then just watch this. But like they've been a band for fucking 7 minutes. We'll get they get a fucking beer collab. I mean, who sent us these? Indie Rabble or Radio City Beer? Who sent these?
I can only think that Kev is. It's got Kev written all over it, mate. He's a genius. He's like, they're going to be talking about this today. Let's get them the beer. I don't know. No one told me they were coming.
Class, man, assuming somebody's got my address. I was posting publicly on the internet, so I was totally surprised when they arrived. I was like, fuck, where'd this come from? This is brilliant. So whoever sent them, if it was you, Kev, thank you. If it was direct for the band, whatever, thank you. The vinyl sounds incredible. Looking forward to getting my hands on that. That's great doing it with the pod as well. And it's good for them. I've got they've asked me to have a chat with them at some point this week, just about some sort of internal matters that I'm more than happy to do with them. And I love that relationship that we've built with them. And sometimes it's not like when we're shouting at bands or whatever on here that we need the pat in the back or like, oh, thanks for that. But there is some bands that you do it for that are listening, and even when you talk to them, they act like they don't listen. You know what I mean? You're still here being very pleasant about them, and when they buy you a pint at the bar. But these guys are just like fucking all in. Brilliant. Whatever we can do for 2 Promoters, 1 Pod, which is just continue as a band and play these festivals and keep smashing it, guys, because this is fucking class. And I'm looking forward to my vinyl.
Yeah, me too. Fucking, it's really cool. So, okay, so that the final bit of my weekly waffle, which is, I'm looking at the clock, it's taken a while, is that me and you, Gav, we've been voice messaging each other recently, and as we do. But on Friday we were or Thursday, we were back and forwards, and I was just geeing you up for the album of the year coming, and I think you were a bit insulted that I thought you wouldn't be ready, or I don't trust you. So I wanted you to know that I trust you, and I wanted to remind you quickly, how good our top 10s were from last year. Oh, yeah. So if I had £1 million now, could you tell me what your top 10 was? If I gave you an hour to do it.
If you gave me an hour, I think it'd be right. I'll give you what I can remember from off the top of my head.
I'm not expecting you to do that, but go on.
Mono, crippling alcoholism, Meryl Streak. We just missed Overhead the Albatross, didn't we? We had which our band did just fucking headline the stage at Art Tangent, absolutely brilliant. The Scottish poetry band was completely skipping me right
Arab
now.
Strap.
Arab Strap. Oh, I thought I'd get more of them off the head.
I think you did better than I would have. So your list was number 1, Not Loose, number 2, Arab Strap, number 3, Meryl Streak, 4, Crippling Alcoholism, 5, Judy Christmas, 6, Mono, 7, Thou, 8, Frail Body, 9, Kneecap, 10, A Swarm of the Sun.
I would struggle to get A Swarm of the Sun, even within an hour. I'd probably have forgot that one at the end.
So it was a good year, right?
What was your top 10?
Number 1, Blood Incantation, and then Eshawn, Duel, Slift, Into Armour, Aranzi Pazuzu, The Smile, Ancient, Opeth, Tribulation. Now, I can tell you already that my list this year is going to be nothing like that.
Do you know
That's a fucking brilliant. That is like, look at me stroking my beard, refusing to mosh, drinking my hipster beer.
I still don't appreciate just how different our view, because we do the same job and we're politically quite aligned and have similar sort of family situations, whatever. But almost agree nothing. It's like when we come on, it's like we agree nothing, and when we done the top 10 last year, I was like, well, we at least 4 overlap. I mean, at very least 4 of them overlap, and who's not nothing in sight. So if we can manage that again, that's fucking unreal.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is that my list this year, I'm not going to give anything away, but is going to be way more melodic, have more songs on it than that. There's not a lot of fucking singing going on in that.
No.
But yeah, so we're that's coming, right? All I was explaining to you is that you can't release it after Christmas, so it has to come, and that means we're fucking. It's the 1st of December.
Soon.
Aye.
I mean, I'm gonna. I was giving you bullshit about it, but I was giving maybe 4, which is 4 more than I had in this point last year. But it's aye, well, you could, because we're just dealing with so much at the minute, and like we've got the tour to go on, and we need to get a set put together for the tour, and we don't have hotels and that, and you're chasing me from album of the year list. I'm just like, fuck off, Tubes.
Well, that's me chasing you very gently again.
I'll do it, man. I done it in 40 hours last year, and it worked out okay. So I'm sure I will manage. Oh, brilliant.
Okay, so you're going to talk to me about your week?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm going to go into a wee bit this my entire week with the gigs that I went to, which I want to go into my wee bit more in depth, because it was such a fucking wildly different week, and people like to hear about gig sort of reviews for the likes of Radiohead, Kneecap, and LLNN, Pupil, Slicer, and Worn Out. So we can get into it when we get into the episode, Marv. Damnation's kind of been ploughing away, good and bad this week. We had we put the merch on sale, like we just cleared for Black Friday. We just like all the old t-shirts, like for 2 years ago, 3 years ago, would just be sitting there. You get 34 of this t-shirt and you get 18 this one, a £5, like just a £5, get rid of them. And that, and we took like, I don't know, a tenner off the shots or 15 quid off the windbreakers or whatever else. Nothing that you bought at this year's Damnation, none of that. That was all. Well, in fact, it was all sold out other than one t-shirt. So that's all going to be in sale, relisted, restocked on a new thing, along with the Branca drop we've done. And that will be the same price it was at Damnation, but you'll now have an opportunity to buy it again because it all sold out at Damnation. But what happened with it, we ended up doing over 200 orders. Now, that's 200 orders of your old stock, of shit that had been sitting there from like last month, the month before, last year. So that was pretty incredible for that to go. And I think there was a lot of people like, fucking hell, I'm getting a like proper quality t-shirt for £5, whether it's a year old or 2 years old or not. Proper quality. And while I'm here, I'll pick up the shorts. And while I'm here, I will grab the windbreaker for that, because that £5 sort of carrot was people were coming out with £85 orders. So I was like, that's fucking absolutely incredible. So that's the good bit of news that came out of Damnation this week. The bad bit of news is like, I'm just fucking wading through Trico trying to get, I mean, I said last week about trying to get the agents to get you the green light. Well, beyond the agent bit now, it's like the agents are on our side trying to get the management to give them the green light. So the agents are about like, I'm with you if we could get it done, but management are dragging their heels for, I don't know, whatever reason management would have that. And you're like, get a situation where I just really need one band from the sort of higher level to go alongside what we've already got done, and I could go with it, but I'm not willing to just put out, here's 8 bands that are all from the lower half of the bill, and then people, because then you need to explain the confusion, like, well, hold on a second, ask me for £155 here, and that doesn't look like the most expensive lineup you've ever put together, Gavin. I'm like, oh, but all of those bands have still to come, and a lot of them are booked, I just can't announce them. So there is no one more frustrated about the whole situation to me, because I said as well, I feel like the momentum is now dying down. That whole, what we had that in a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we could still be in that, and then we could still be tapped in, and people are, oh, Damnation, and that being the buzz of the moment. At the minute, it's now we're into December, the attention will turn to Christmas. There is no bands announced, and I'm just I'm just frustrated with it because I feel like we were so far ahead of the game. I mean, months for some of these bands, and still not being able to announce them is just really, really fucking frustrating.
Yeah, that is annoying. Although if you do the maths, I don't know if you think it's different because of when you are in the year, but like for us, if we can get the earliest we'd ever do is an October announcement, and that would be A to G's at the end of August, and then end of October is 2 months.
Yeah.
But this year it was 3 months. Was it 3 months or was it 2? Maybe we did one at 2 and one at 3, but it's hard for you. You're still not even a month gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that as well, but I just think, just when you go 2,000 tickets sold and you're just like, right, okay, let's just get, as I say, if you can get that first announcement in the way you like it to impress people, while everybody's still hyped up and they're talking about it in the pub and one of their mates has bought a ticket, and you get that announcement for the people who are like, well, I'm not just buying blind. I mean, you might fucking trust Damnation, but I don't know anything about Damnation. And then you go, boom, here's a reason to buy now. And you get it to 3,000 and you're fucking half sold out before even Santa's came. And you're like, that'd be a lovely position to be in. Whereas, as I said last week as well, if you announce no bands now, you're just going to trickle through Christmas and the New Year, and you're going to have that whole point. All right, okay, well, that was amazing in the week to do all those tickets, but now because we're going to February and not really changed much.
Yeah, it's tricky. But like I said, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but talking from our point of view, just think the later you go, the more it's like, I should have just waited for payday in January. Like I was talking to Simon today about, where A to G tickets go from here in the next sort of couple of months. And it's like, you can't help thinking that at some point people are just going to be like, wow, it's fucking Christmas. I mean, It really is. It's like 20 days away.
It's a nice, like, see if you like in the 80s or 90s, you used to get your gig ticket, and it was done like you get your Radiohead ticket, and it was a piece of art. Like the one I've got for Glasgow Green back in 1980. It's a piece of art and it's got lyrics on it, and it's like different coordinate. Like I think when you get something like that and you can give it as a gift, you do it as a. But see print out somebody like an instalment plan from Skiddle. There you go on your card, you're like, what the fuck is that? It's not quite as presentable. So you don't really, I don't know why you don't really seem, or maybe just people that want to give Damnation tickets for the Christmas present, but you'd think you would get something at Christmas, which never really happens for us anyway.
No, I mean, we're going to do gift vouchers this year, so we'll see. So you can buy someone a like 50 quid gift voucher. Was I supposed to mention that today? Who fucking knows? But I have.
Why change a habit of a podcast, mate? Why change a habit of a podcast? So my week, in the sense of the 3 shows that I went to, since we last spoke, I went to Radiohead at the O2 in London. I went to LLNN, Pupil Slicer and Warm Out and Slay in Glasgow. And then I went to Kneecap last night and sold out 14,000 capacity fucking Hydro, which is just in itself just insane. Just to comprehend that fucking Kneecap sold out so quickly. And I mean, at one point I was going in the Thursday, I was going to go and see Conan with Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean, because the agent Tyler had asked me to check out Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean. And then the Saturday I was going to go through Edinburgh, see Rage and Speed on the Mastiff, which would be 5 gigs since we last spoke, and I probably wouldn't be here. I would be dead. Although that didn't help, the night I had off from all the chaos was a Saturday, and Kelly was a bit like, well, this is my weekend. Was you going to sit there with a cup of hot chocolate and you go and just have a nice time with everybody else? No. Get that Jack Daniels in you right now. It's like, so I don't know how many nights in a row I was not in bed before fucking 2 or 3, but there was a lot of them. And this morning I felt like I'd done 2 art tangents back to back. I was so horrifically broken. So let's rewind back to how that all started. Radiohead. Opportunity to go down and get the Tuesday. So went with my daughter, just me and Cadence, which is not something we would do often. Kelly does like to be involved in family activity. Fuck, she normally plans them all, so not very often just Katie and I will do something. Myself and Niall we'll go to a Celtic game together, we'll watch a Celtic game or a Scotland game together, but I don't get a chance to do that with Katie. So I was looking forward to that a lot. It was a bit of an awkward one because she got prelims on at the minute, so I had to make sure when she was on the train she was studying for the whole 5 hours there and studying for 5 hours back, just to go with my own parental guilt of taking up fucking school to go to a gig. But all worth it in the end. We got down there. It was London's its own thing, innit? London's, as I said before, it's just its own fucking madness. You get there, and we're in a Euston station, and into this wee sort of, yeah, but for the outside it, Katie's like, shit, man, you brought me a crack den. Why are you paying £200 to go to sleep on a couch and a crack den? But like I suppose a lot of places in London, it's actually once you go through the security doors, the money's been spent on the place because they can charge such ridiculous prices. It just outside a lot of London looks like a shithole. And we got in there, and I said, we're only 6 miles away from this venue. See this? I don't know what I'd be tackling a subway nonsense. Like, what's an Uber? She said, at £32. I'm like, aye, it's expensive, but it's not that bad. So just, okay, kids, we're good. We'll get an Uber sorted. Got a bit closer to like tea time, £67. So we didn't go with the Uber, we went with the subway. And then when I came out to gig at night, £126 the guy went for 6 miles. 126 quid on a fucking Uber, man. London is its own planet. So got a subway. That was its own comedy sketch. At one point, myself and an Iranian woman were trying to get each other directions, and she had no idea where she was going. And then she started looking to me, can you tell me where this is? And I was just pointing up, just up these stairs, I'm pretty sure it's up there. She's like, I'm from Iran. And I'm like, I'm from Glasgow, so the twos are fucked. So we got there, I mean, whether we got it in the stops, we should have or not, we did get backwards and forwards asking a million people, got to the gig, sorted out with tickets, went for something to eat with Katie, went up, seats were absolutely fucking brilliant. Thank you again so much to I'm not sure if the guy, our mutual friend, I don't know if he listens to the podcast or not, but he's a friend of Blues Brews, so if Blues Brews ever sees him, we can say again how much I appreciate that. Sorted us out with the Amex VIP sort of sweet thing, which would be amazing for you and me, but Katie, it's just a different chair to sit in with a soft drink. And I was like, right, okay, this is class. Got to the seats. Just, I mean, right that way, almost like eye level into the round, and the show starts. And I've said before, I thought I'd seen Radiohead 3 times before. I haven't. I've seen them 4 times before. I was reminded by my pal Andy, who came down with us. The 4th time I seen them on the In Rainbows tour, they were so fucking boring I forgot I saw them. I just remember, because remember when at Glasgow Green it was raining that night, it was like, that was the most remarkable thing about that whole fucking show, was the fact it rained, because it's right, I've seen Radiohead 4 times and pretty much all of them they're being a wee bit indifferent, and nothing like what I saw on stage in London, nothing like it at all. Tom York was fucking raving. I mean, like, they were all in it. I couldn't believe how energetic and how much fun they appeared to be having on stage. And that, when I sort of sold out, I think I saw an article on it, it was the busiest attendance, or the highest attendance they'd ever managed, at almost 23,000 or something there, because of, obviously, the way they'd be able to set up the round, you must be able to sell more tickets. And it's just exceptional. At the time, I thought it was possibly the best gig that I'd ever been to, for a bunch of different reasons. I think you think that a lot. I mean, like, you were watching Psychonaut the other day and you thought you'd found God. And sometimes when you're doing that, at the time, you're just in it, and then you get away and you're like, a couple of days reflection. But there isn't a lot to like talk about that argument, to be honest. Now, will I ever recapture the feeling of seeing Amen and Raging Speed Turning and Cat House, my first ever metal gig? No. Will I ever feel like I did the first time I saw Cult on a steaming at Hellfest 2008 and like really get taken by Post Mel? No. But I don't think that feeling's there to be recaptured. I think that's what happens with the first time you do it at an age where you're so fucking, it's just so overwhelming for you. But I was there. The set list was fucking incredible. My daughter was she was there, she was hoping to get no surprises. So it started at the start, and we get 2 and 2 equal 5 in the airbag, and Jigsaw's falling into pre-season, all I need. So a lot of bangers, but not the ones you'd be like, it's not like Fake Plastic Trees or Street Spirit or anything like that, but it gets through. And there's this one wee bit in the set that was, I'd heard for it when I was listening to the set list they'd done in Madrid, and it was Separator into Pyramid Song into You and Whose Army. Now, Pyramid Song and You and Whose Army are good tracks, but they're fucking fun sponges, you know what I mean? They're taking the atmosphere of the room. And Separator, I think he put Separator in just to say they could play something for the King of Limbs, because it's actually a crime that that's in a set list when all the shit wasn't there, like Karma Police or fucking I mean, I know creep as such, but all the bangers you can still do. The fact that separators in there's a bit wild. And I was about, and I text my mate at the time, I said, shit, are we getting this Madrid set list? Because this is his own like 9 tracks in. Are we going to get this one where it just like loses momentum? And this is like the way I remember Radiohead shows being, that you just kind of, you hit the bangers, that it really, people start sitting down and you're like, okay, I could check my phone now. But thankfully that was only that. And then they did play No Surprises. And I was like, what a moment. And then right after that, Optimistic. The one tune that my 3 children were born to: Optimistic by Radiohead, Angels by the XX, and Undercovers On by Rival Schools. And I've seen Angels and Undercovers On perform live. I never thought I would see Optimistic perform live, even if I had managed to catch Radiohead again, because they just never play it. So even in this thing, the 4 times in London, that was the night they played it. So I landed in that and I was like, come on. I mean, this is not that. Cadence is over the moon with these great fucking seats. They're playing this amazing set list. The whole thing, I mean, the productions, I mean, every bit, the videos don't even do it justice. It's just so well done. I mean, the guys that, whoever it is that's doing the screen, the visuals for it, it's like they've got different effects on every single song. It's like one, it's like a sort of sci-fi, like Tom York's faces coming in out of focus. Then the next one, it's all blocky, like almost like some BBC C-Facts about. And just watch it, they're even being clever with this, a clever setup. They must have like the best engineers at everything, the best minds to put in place. I was like, this is fucking unreal. And again, like, so before they got the encore, you've got Optimistic, then Body Snatchers, excellent music for a film, and it's Street Spirit, which would blow any other band away anyway. And then they come back out to do, they've got Let Down, Weird Fishes, Idotech, Like Spinning Plates, which is the first time they played it. It wasn't even on the set list. And then they changed it and made it Like Spinning Plates. Paranoid Android, like, I'll finish with Paranoid Android is the one. And then they done There after it. So I was just like, man, this cannot be topped. This fucking so good. And in Cadence is like the way that afterwards, you could put a set list together of an hour of music, of all the bangers, your Creep and your Karma Police, and Fake Plastic Trees that we didn't get, and you walk away with it saying that was absolutely incredible. That's how deep that catalogue is. And I've always been a wee bit, no arrogant, but you get Metallica fans, for example, one band with another deep catalogue, and they make such a big deal about the set list. And I was like, fuck's sake, you got to see Metallica. I mean, I'm sure they'll play your songs. I felt the exact same way that a Metallica fan does when I was watching Radiohead, because there's very few bands. You go see Deftones, you're pretty much always going to get Shove It My Own Summer. You probably get a few off Adrenaline, but it's like these guys were going to like not touching anything off Pablo Honey, one song off King of Limbs. And so it's like complete albums that are not getting touched, and that's what happens at Metallica gig. There's like complete albums that may be your favourite ever record, and Metallica are not playing it because they're doing Sad But True again. And I had a newfound appreciation for Metallica fans that I've had that conversation before. I'm completely indifferent towards it, and they're like, they never play, or they did. The excitement when you come back for a Metallica show, and they've played an absolute rare banger, which meant something to someone in their childhood, and then they just got to hear it, and it just made the entire night. And I'm a bit like, aye, very good to hear. And played it Optimistic, almost burst into tears.
Mate, that sounds incredible. I mean, while we're talking about Metallica, I think it's the only band I've ever seen in the round. And I'm trying to imagine what it would be like with Radiohead. So do the stage move? Did the band move? Like if you're sat on the wrong side of the stage, you're in a shit position. Like how does it really work with seeing?
Firstly, our seats, it were perfect, so it almost didn't matter. I mean, Tom York was never, albeit briefly, like passing by the bit, would be right in front of us. But no matter where he went on stage, we had a decent angle of him. I mean, even when he's had your back to, Tom York's not that exciting to look at.
But is he singing? Is he singing on more than one microphone?
Yeah.
Yes.
But see, when I saw the pictures of what Metallica did in the stadium, it seemed like all very well thought out, rehearsed. Lars had different drum kits, and everybody was getting their turn, getting a chance to see all the members of Metallica. And also, that end of the round is the size of a fucking baseball pitch. You know what I mean? This one was quite tight. Like and the drummer stayed exactly, there was the wee drum kit beside him, they had bits and bobs, so it was like you could get the bass player, guitarist, and Tom York were able to move around, and everyone just sat there. But the production itself so engrossing, and Radiohead, again, middle-aged white guys, and they're not that exciting to look at. And I never thought about it. But if you were standing at one side and you're probably got that eye line, you could only see Tom York for like 3 or 4 songs. But it didn't look like he was the. It didn't look like any had been rehearsed. You'd have bits where he would go and stand somewhere for ages and then go across and he would immediately leave and then go to a different point. It was like this is the 3 ones that I'm going to do here, and I'll do 3 over there, and I'll do 3 here. It wasn't like that. It was quite. It felt quite organic, and at some points he would just, as I said, just dancing, like leaping around the stage, which I'd never seen before either. And I was like, that is incredible. Maybe it took 8 years for me to appreciate what I had missed, and maybe it took them 8 years to appreciate what they're good at. And maybe 8 years ago when we were doing it, they just didn't. Well, clearly they didn't want to be a live band, because if they did, they would be it, wouldn't they? They'd go and headline Glastonbury and take their millions, and they clearly decided we're not getting what we want from this, so we're not going to do it. And then they've made the decision to come and have a bash this. And God, I hope it's not the last, because I was half tempted to fly to Denmark to try and see it again.
But do you think there's an element of like, I don't know, maybe they've always performed like that, and because you saw them in a non in the round setting, and they were long. I often think bands get lost. You have to. The reason, I mean, this is making it a bit more basic than it is, but the reason Bruce Dickinson and Axl Rose and those sort of people run around a lot, and the Metallica, Kirk Hammett will be all over the stage, is because if you're watching a fucking stadium, a small bit of movement. I remember seeing, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but the Arctic Monkeys played underneath the Foo Fighters at Reading one year. I remember thinking the Arctic Monkeys were fucking terrible and that they didn't move. And actually what they'd done is they brought their sort of club set, or even an arena set, or just like their 3,000 cap venue set into a fucking field.
Yeah.
And it looked like they weren't moving. And maybe Radiohead, I don't know.
But
I haven't seen them, so maybe they've always been into it, but you just couldn't tell.
I've seen 9 Inch Nails play 15 times. And Trent Reznor is not a man who's going to be running about. But I'm completely engrossed in everything that they do. And the music, a lot of the music speaks for. Well, James, I'm a post-rock and post-metal fan. I'm used to just seeing statues on stage and I've been like completely happy with it. So it's not like I need or even want my bands to be running about. And Tom York moving about on stage wasn't what was going like, oh, this makes it better. It was like, he looks invested in it, rather than the Tom York I have seen before that's been a bit like, well, this is number 46 of an 80-date tour, and I'm really not the kind of guy who likes that kind of tour schedule. And I'm just not. Or if you're at Transmit Festival and you're a bit like, this is just not my crowd. I mean, I'm not here for Chasing Status or whatever was played before, and he's just about, or maybe I've just been on the wrong. I don't know. Maybe other Radiohead fans could tell me, no, you're full of shit, Gav. Which I'm happy to accept. Listen, I'm fucking the biggest Radiohead fanboy in the world. I don't want to be telling you my favourite band. Never really impressed me that much live, but I put them on record, and I think it's the greatest thing ever happened. I tattooed it on my fucking body. So I was just blown away that I finally saw a set, but it looked like they were all completely plugged in.
It sounds amazing. To be honest, I've got an admission to make. I muted you on the night of the show. Lizzie was like, why are you so moody? I'm like, because it's supposed to be a fucking Radiohead tonight. And I've muted that Scottish prick as well. Not fucking listening to his fucking...
When did I even say that?
You're sending videos, which is a nice thing to do. It wasn't you. I'm not saying it's not you. It's not you. But I was just like, oh man, I had so much fun. I just wanted to be there because it looked great, and everyone said it was great, didn't they? No one said, when you're a big band, people want to shoot you down. So you always get like mixed receptions often, but everyone has just said they're on it.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. And that's what makes me feel like that my opinion might also be a shared opinion, that everyone's like, oh, fuck, that was Radiohead. Either we never had a chance to see them before, and now they are, and every bit as good as was, or, my God, they needed that break to re-energise themselves for what they're good at. So, I'm at the point now at 43, I don't think you can put Radiohead in the round at O2 after that year break in the same category or even fucking conversation as Raging Speed Home and Amen at the Cat House, and how it felt at the time. My house, like, I remember walking to some gigs and just feeling like walking in clouds when I was like 19, 20, 21 experiencing some of this music for the first time, I never left the O2 like, oh my God, like I'll never have this euphoria again. I just remember like everything about this entire situation just seems perfect. It's like the set list, being here with my daughter, hearing Optimistic, the time away that I've grown an appreciation for Radiohead music, the way the bands, it just seemed like this does feel like this feels like the perfect performance. That's how I felt about the gig, rather than just I suppose the old cliche, the best show I've ever been to, which you always know. I mean, like, there's probably another 10 in the conversation that if I thought about it on a different day, I would say no, there was definitely Nine Inch Nails that time, I was definitely Caught Loner that time, you know what I mean?
Sounds like a podcast episode at some point, that does. So did they have a support band?
No, and because Caden said, asked me that, I said, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna destroy a band with that? Because it's in the round. Who are they gonna take? It's not like Metallica can go, right, okay, let's give it to Lamb of God or Architects, and like, they'll probably still struggle.
Well, yeah, it was Machine Head that did it.
Machine, like, but there's enough there, isn't it? The guys, they're also as loud, energetic music where you're going to get mosh pits. It's like Radiohead pick up an Interpol or something, and you need to sit there. And Radiohead are not moving their production off stage. I mean, that's going to be there, so you're probably going to end up with a wee shitty part of the stage that you're going to be standing static doing that. Why bother?
The Mars Volta. Volta, that would have been the one.
The Mars, I fucking can imagine them shit would getting thrown at stage, and then that gets damaged, and oh fuck, so... And you'd still have missed it, you fucking clown, sitting trying to drive your mum and dad's couch about, so...
Yeah.
What a boy. So, went from that to a very different experience, which was, not to put down Slay in Glasgow, the wonderful venue that you and I done
Mate, what a venue.
It's fucking great. It is. You were like, oh my god, such a good place for a rock show, for a metal show. It is a great place for a rock and a metal show. It's a good venue. Mark has done really well with the place. I look forward to seeing more gigs there, because he's swallowing up a lot of that scene now. He's going through Slay. I think bands, like Better Lovers and that play. A lot of bands went and said, oh, I quite enjoy Slay. Let's go do that again. So, felt like a real podcast show. I'd shouted out our boys Worn Out. I don't know if just Evan is like Two Promoters One Poddaft or the band or whatever, but he was there. He's clearly a big fan of the pod. I'd gave him a shout last week, which was kind of funny because he's the first person that listens to the pod every Thursday morning at 6:01. And because he was on tour, it was the one they never heard. And people are messaging, did you hear the shout out? Did you get the shout out? And he's like, fuck, I'm just about to go on stage in Manchester or something. What did they fucking bastard say? So... it was good to see him. Pupil Slicer, obviously intertwined. I mean, then LLNN, weirdly, those guys listen to the pod. I mean, I was told at Damnation by is it Rasmus is the front man. So
they don't listen to the pod, do they?
Aye,
really?
Aye. So he stopped me outside the dressing rooms Night of Salvation. It meant Gav, and I thought, that's how weird. How the fuck would you know who I was? You know what I mean, like. And he goes, oh, I listened to the pod. I was like, for fuck's sake, how'd you go with the accent? All right, well, I listened to James and I listened to you shout on the other side of it. So I had a real sort of pod flavour about it. The people, there was a lot, I mean, one guy stopped me getting away, getting out of talk, saying, oh, I love the pod. And I jokingly said, oh, I've got a festival tour. He goes, I don't go to that. It's like, so it was great. They warm out. Listen, look, I think at this point you just give them the opening slot and like Art Tangent on the stage. Like it's there now. They are the real deal. They are such a good, high energy, no nonsense hardcore band. Probably work in your sort of hidden mother slot at Trees as well. Desperate, utterly fucking desperate to play one of your gigs, and told me to have your ear. And I said, well, I'll do it very publicly, all right? Evan, I'll do it very publicly. Put him on the spot. So, aye, good for them. I checked. I mean, it's obviously the tour's gone well for them because they got a good crowd in for Glasgow. I noticed they'd been up, when I'd first checked, it was like 700 plays or 700 streams. Now they're up over 1,000. So there's obviously a lot of people now checking them out after the tour. And hopefully it goes for good to better and better. They seem to love it. Really good fun, guys. Went out with them afterwards. That was a huge mistake. I mean, talk about it. We've done the exact same route into the wee old man's pub next door. sat there with the boys from Walnut and then like a few other legends, people who knew the pod. People were suggesting that fucking bands I should book for next year's Damnation, or the direction they'd like to see things go. Went from there when we get kicked out at closing time to the place where we got a knockback from, the Irish place, but we got let in this time. So it just shows the state we must have been when we finished the Glasgow pod. Into there to, I don't know, 2 or 3, and then some fucking genius suggested going back to a flat, and then fuck knows, ended up in a flat. Me, wee guy Gav Brown, Andy Cagan, the Mrs. Fright House. Do you know the band Mrs. Fright House? They two were there, and the guy Ian, who I think it was his flat, and then about half 4, I'm like, what am I doing? why am I doing this to myself? I need to get a taxi home. This is a terrible, terrible idea. Great fucking gig. I mean, like, Walnut were excellent. Pupil Slicer sounded tight. The new music sounds good. They suffered fire alarm in the middle of their set, which when people went out into the pavement, it was a lot of people looking at me like I was responsible. It's like I've got this bad aura in me. It's just fire alarms wherever I go, which is kind of true between Damnation and the Wolves in the Phone Room gig I was put on in St Luke's had a fire alarm too. So they were great. Then LLNN are just a different level of show heaviness, whatever you want to call it. Just like, is there any band in the world as heavy as LLNN and as catchy at the same time? Because you can be heavier, can't you? You can be heavy at the point it's like it's indistinguishable noise, and you can be catchy, you can be creeper. But is there anyone as heavy and as catchy as like you just feel your hand go dun 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 dun. Fucking, it's just like this riff upon riff. They're just, it's even the output looks like there's like metallic mountains. That's what it sounds like. Going through space, metallic mountains just clashing into each other through space. It's just so good. What a band.
They're fucking amazing, man. I love them.
Aye, absolutely great. So it was a great gig. It was a great gig. I hope that all the bands enjoyed being in Glasgow as much as we enjoyed having them there. They were absolutely great. The Saturday was supposed to be my rest day. Kelly made sure it wasn't a rest day, and I'll be hammered for that. Yesterday woke up like I had no energy to be thinking about Kneecap's nonsense, man. I was like, no guys, I do not need 3 Republican hoods shouting at me in the day. And what I need is a nice comforting fucking XX show on my bed. But I pulled up my big boy pants. I went to the Hydro. Now, if you're not Scottish or you get no sort of context for this, now these guys are playing, so they played Bristol, you said it was a 3,000 cap. Then but what's the one in Leeds, like the one in the is that 4, 5, 6,000? So same sort of, so they're going up and down England and playing arenas and selling them out, but arenas that are 3, 4, 5,000. Glasgow, 14,000. Packed. Every single fucking seat. Nothing. You couldn't get, there was not a space in any seating areas. Now, this is where Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Kings of Leon play in Glasgow. That Kneecap are on stage. And like, Jonathan Alman, who is a friend of mine and a promoter, if anyone's interested in this conversation, I done a Damnation Versus with him. And we talk at length about Kneecap. And at that point, he'd booked him for the Garage in Glasgow, which I think's 800 or 900 capacity. And I think they were moving on to try the Barrowlands, which seemed like a big jump to go to the Barrowlands, but at the same time, like they've just got a super film. They've got it back in a Celtic in Glasgow, so they can just do things in Glasgow you just wouldn't be able to do in England. And
is that an obvious thing? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, so
the Celtic thing. When you're there, is that like right in your face or not?
So, yes, now. Not then. So I never saw the guy show, my mate Andy Cagan. Like, you had to be really fucking switched on to know about this. Irish, when you had the first phone call and somebody's trying to get you to book them for your 5th stage for £100, that's how switched on you had to be with Kneecap when like Johnny Almond and my mate Andy. So he went away to get it, and he goes, he went away to that show at the Garage, which has only been 4 years ago. And he was like, mate, the sense of danger, but fun, mate. You're not quite sure what's about to kick off, but at the same time, it seems to be done with such good intentions. And it seems, but they're saying stuff like, if you're in Glasgow, like Chucky Allah, like our day will come, like in the fucking proper reunite Ireland and the separate 6 counties, that kind of stuff causes violence between Rangers and Celtic fans, and people have lost jobs for the kind of things that these guys are saying on stage night after night after night. And at the start, like, we don't, other than say Celtic Park, you just don't hear people saying this kind of stuff. And these guys are on stage celebrating it. And obviously it's led them into fucking all sorts of trouble, and which has only ever made them bigger. But Johnny Armin stuck with them. They stuck with Johnny Armin, went to the Barrowland. So that'd have been last November when I get the picture with him at the end of that. And we were speaking to them at the time, and the plan was to do 3 nights at the Barrowland, because like, the Barrowlands is only 2,000. You can't just jump another 11,000, 12,000 fans in the space just because you sold to the Barrowlands. And there's nowhere else to go in Glasgow. We don't have a 5,000, 6,000. So you're kind of stuck until you're ready to go. And some bands, like that metal band, Hailstorm, they played the Hydro, and like the videos going to book were fucking damaging. Like the place was empty, cutting off and empty, because you put 6,000 people in there, 5,000 people in there. It's not a good look. So obviously they got all the controversy that fucking is more about as much about as everyone else. And then the UK government gave them the best PR campaign they've ever seen in life, and it just became. So when I'm at the Barrowlands last time and I went with my brother Stuart, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like this fucking proper Celtic party, and we're just here because we're supporting the cause, and we're all going to have our tricolours and fucking Celtic tops on. And that's not what I found. It was there. There was some people with Celtic tops on, but it was very much a teenagers to pensioners who were into either hip hop or rock or had come at it for some sort of angle. And I was like, well, that was actually a really. Did it feel like a football crowd? Last night was all the same people there, but it was a football crowd. It was Celtic Park had fucking just poured into the venue, and then DJ Provi came out and he's got a lit up LED back screen, and it's a Celtic logo, the crest. So when he came out and they go Glasgow's green and white, and then in the middle of the gig we just burst into the whole fucking place, burst into Hail Hail the Celts are here, which is just a Celtic song. It's got fucking nothing to do with Kneecap. And at that point I was about like, this is a weird spot. Like Mammy Andy's going in at the point, right? But that's a weird spot for him to be in, right? Because like, see, if you're more Celtic fan in Scotland, you hate Celtic. You hate Rangers, you hate Celtic, the two big brothers, the dominating teams that ruin your dreams every fucking day. And your family's dreams are these two horrible bastard teams in Scotland who do nothing but cause fucking problems for everybody else. So if you're there as a Kilmarnock fan, or a St Mirren or a Motherwell fan, never mind being a fucking Rangers fan, you're like, everybody around about you singing Celtic songs.
So Kneecap encouraging that?
Yes.
That's part of the show.
So they started when they went, hail, hail, and then I don't know if they expected the whole rendition and the whole song to happen or not, but they certainly went against it. And they got it, they were getting one with that. But it was a weird feeling for me, because I'm all in, I'll sing a Celtic song, but if I'd been like, or not a football fan, and you're a bit like, I never came to see Kneecap so I could sing Celtic songs, so it's a weird spot. And I don't know.
It's weird for me, because I'm a fucking big football fan. I don't understand it. Like, having got to know you and hung out together on the last tour and stuff, and talked a bit about what it was like. We talked about when you grew up in Glasgow, being, how there's certain places is fucking lively. If you walk down the street in your Celtic shirt, it's not going to fucking go well.
No.
And like, I saw a tiny bit of that in like living in Liverpool as a Man United fan, but it's not the same.
No.
It's not.
No.
And it's linked with Ireland and religion and loads of stuff that I don't really get. I don't even understand it.
Fight's going to, like, when they said, like, celebrate, I don't want to get into this obviously conversation in the podcast, but like battles that happened hundreds of years ago, like before football clubs were set up, and battles between Protestants and Catholics and fucking the Irish, like, and then when the Irish people coming across, and then you've got the whole situation where that, for whatever reason in Ireland, they never took to the English Premiership the way, because I don't know, never had that same link to them, and their roots as like Celtic or Rangers would be, and it's crazy. It's like when you go to Celtic Park, it is everyone thinks they're Irish. People have never been in Ireland that are convinced they'll be fucking Donegal. You know what I mean? So it's a very. You don't see many Scotland flags, which is a pet peeve of mine, because we're a Scottish club now. I'm like a massive Scottish boy. But then the Rangers fans are all convinced they're English. I mean, it's like they're definitely convinced they live in fucking Bristol. So we're just as bad as each other, really. And anybody be like, no, we're actually Scottish and we should just fucking grow up a wee bit here. But it stems to it. It's not great. I'm not trying to. It's not, the west of Scotland there is no other rivalry like that. And in fact, like the Liverpool Man United thing only really exists because there were two superpowers in England. It's like,
yeah,
So Celtic Rangers would hate each other regardless of where any other team was in the league. You couldn't replace that level of hate. Whereas, I mean, Man United, Man City fans should be. But then if you don't have that, you don't have the religious element to cause that powder keg with it, maybe you can't get that level of bigotry and hatred squeezed into a football stadium. So, aye, and it's not always. I mean, Kneecap are very much they will start chants at the gigs that will get very pro IRA very quickly, and they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing when they're starting those songs, and they know where the crowd's going to go with, especially in Glasgow. And you're a bit like, well, that's how they feel. And it's I don't know whether the big thing with me is like, fucking, how did they get away with it? How did they get away with it in England, or did they just not do it? Do you know? Did you just not hear that in at the English ones?
No, because I don't think. Like, I'm an educated guy, right? I just don't think people are thinking about stuff like that. We like Kneecap are educating people about their situation and the situation in Ireland, whereas it sounds like whereas if they go to Glasgow, I suppose there's already there's like a base level of knowledge, and the sort of fucking the fight's already happening. They're just coming in and contributing to it. I mean, to be honest, we weren't planning to go down this road, so I'm fucking well out of my comfort zone. And no, I don't know a lot about it.
And it can get spicy. It can get spicy very, very quick. And people feel, I mean, a lot of people have lost their lives in Glasgow over this kind of nonsense. So it's not something about it. I don't want to be flipping about either, but it's just Kneecap, that's their world. I mean, that's where they believe in this, and they believe in it for Ireland. Ultimately, they want a united Ireland, don't they? I mean, they're singing, even in England, they are singing "Get the Brits Out." I mean, that's literally talking about you guys. You know what I mean? So but I don't. It's like they come to Glasgow, they're promoting Glasgow's English. They get my friend Johnny Almond is for Cumbria, so it's not like I mean a bit or a spiteful. I think they're quite actually when you actually hear them talk about it, they're a bit like I heard one quote that said, we've got more in common with a poor Rangers fan than we do a rich Celtic fan. I mean, it's like it doesn't need to always be as fucking as the divide doesn't have to be that way. I mean, somebody that's no fucking dodging their taxis or whatever, just because you support Celtic doesn't make them a good person. And just because you support Rangers doesn't make you a fucking horrible person either. I mean, obviously, one of my best men at my wedding was a Rangers fan, but aye, we are fucking well off tangent.
This Dimcure lager is stronger than I was expecting.
Someone Denmark's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Oh man.
So that was my three very, very, I mean, could you pick three more different gigs between the genres, types of music, atmospheres, the venues that we're in? It was great. I mean, I'm feeling every bit of it today. To be fair, this Dimcure can is picking up a wee bit, but otherwise,
he's back.
Well off it. Aye, let's go find another fucking gig. I would have loved to have got to Rachel Speed on Massive Show. Love both those bands, obviously, but try to squeeze that in bin before. And although I never got along to check out Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean, I did listen to them because Tyler usually does have good bands up his sleeve. They sound fucking great. So if we can get anything done to sort those guys out of slot of damnation next year, then following year, I'm sure we will.
Good. Sounds like a done deal, Tyler. Happy days. Okay.
And you're going to book one out?
You've already booked two bands on my lineup this year. I don't think I'm giving you
I know,
a
but it's when you went along with it. It's like, at the time, I don't want to do this. I mean, you can't put that pressure on me publicly. And I was like, well, that worked. Let's go.
Let's go again.
Let's go again. But listen, so Hidden Mullers, done a Celestial Birds, Dimcure, Overhead Albatross. I see you've got the record behind you. You're shouting out the fucking legends. That every single room. See, if I ever recommend a band or try to put pressure on you in a band, right, and you ever walk in that tent and it's empty, then you can take a picture and send it to me like, oh,
no, no gigs are empty at Arctangent. It's the festival. You don't get to take credit for the busyness.
Okay. So talking about business, are you going to sell some tickets for Brighton and Cardiff, James?
Yeah, look, let's fucking go. We started to make a plan for this old tour, and we're gonna talk about stuff that we can't talk about on here, that we don't want recorded and we don't want put out. It's gonna be good. I'm fucking excited. We've now got a plan of vaguely how we're going to get to Brighton. And I just can't wait. I've got this vision of just getting to Brighton, maybe having a beer, and then just walking around along. Have you been to Brighton before?
No, don't think so.
Oh, mate, Brighton's lovely. It's got a great vibe, and you're by the sea. It's nice.
I'm in. I tell you, James,
We're
I'm
gonna
just
walk
going to
along
be
the
like,
beach.
I'm just going to be honest as I've always been this podcast. I am buzzing out my bin lid about the sales in Manchester, but I'm not going to pretend that the sales in Brighton and Cardiff are not taking a bit of my buzz away. I would prefer more people in those rooms because I want to go down and enjoy that bit rather than I'm not looking at these shows as warm-up shows. I'm looking at like, I want to get to Brighton and be like, yes, here we are, let's go. I don't want to get to Brighton and say, oh, we're going to have a cracking show in Manchester tonight. So, like, where are you? Let's go.
Let's do it. I mean, we could still sell that out, right?
What is it, 35 tickets or something? It's like, but you're like, I don't understand the because it's just fucking, it's like Kneecap playing Bristol and then going to Glasgow and then fucking 14,000. It's like, I don't understand, Manchester, Cardiff and Brighton, I mean, they're no worlds away. So I would like to get, and for the promoters as well, we went everywhere on that first tour and I felt like none of the promoters were left high and dry, and maybe they won't be in this one either, but I want to be a success for everybody. I want people to come and enjoy it and feel like they're part of a good crowd. I want us to enjoy it. I want the promoters to succeed. And I want fucking Hayden to succeed with it. So I'm just like, I'm excited about it, but I would be more excited if the first two shows were doing better.
Yeah. So when this podcast comes out in a week's time on the Thursday, 11th of December, we will be in Brighton.
We will
12th
be
of December, Cardiff.
12th of December, Cardiff, and then up to Manchester. And I mean, you're just looking at a party, and you're just fucking, you're like, yes, let's go have a laugh. It's got to be a lot of fun. It's going to set us up nicely for Christmas. I'm liking the idea of Tom coming up and telling some of Tom's tour tales. I want to know about some of the festival horrors that people have done. We'll get some good questions lined up probably in advance, and we will talk through the year that was for us as the two promoters on stage. It was good. I mean, we enjoyed that first tour so fucking much. I'm looking forward to it. I did get a wee bit more apprehensive, but ticket sales aside, I'm a bit like, well, you seem to have eased into it for like, this is where you're just getting away and it's all going to be gravy, is it?
It'd be fine. Answer me this, right? Given that I've just realised that this episode comes out 1 week before the tour starts, so therefore the next episode will already be gone when it comes out. How are we doing the audience questions, Gav? Tell us about that.
I'll be fine. I've got a plan. It's something to do with a QR code. It's got something to do with a QR code. That guy Alex, that was at the gig, the LLNN gig. In fact, he was at the gig last night at Kneecap as well. Apparently, it can take you through a bit where you can do the questionnaire, and it can be, you could do it anonymous, or you can let us know as maybe that. Worst case scenario, we just go to the group, can't we, and say put the questions there. But it'd be good if we had them filtered a bit better than we managed first time. So we'll sort it, James. You're making it sound like we've got no plan in place here.
Well, we didn't have a plan this time last time, and I thought it was good, so it's going to be great.
It will be fucking great. What's the Patreon super subs? I managed to get caught up a wee bit, so let me catch up with some of these guys so we don't have a list of 24 to go. Adam Davis Powell. Now listen to this. Listen to this for a fucking so. He wondered if we would pay his flight from Australia to come across to 2,000 trees.
Did he put a winky face after that? Or?
No. It's like, clearly, they've never knocked back anything yet. Let's just get daft with it. So, he is actually he's quite a generous guy, Adam.
Okay, maybe.
Adam Davis Powell. Flights, no, he pays $17 a month. So that's that 15 quid a month he gets that. So, and mate, see, let's see, he's been doing that for 5 or 6 months. So we'll have maybe £100 for him. So we're getting close to with a flight for Australia, a couple of grand. I don't think Adam Davis Powell is grasping the whole is supposed to support the pod, no bankrupt us. But although I think he was serious about asking that question, he did say if that was a stretch too far. He is a professional photographer. He has been and covered Art Tangent photographer too. And he asked, would it be possible to have a photography pass to 2,000 trees, which he says lineup next year is the best he's ever seen, if he can get himself over from Australia.
Yeah, we'll make something work there.
So that sounds like a more realistic plan than the Fridays. But Adam, well done for changing arms, son. Well, we had to say no at some point, didn't we?
Mate, I think all the horse box wind-ups and the gym in your spare room stuff was really...
Maybe we should calm down with that stuff, James.
Okay,
Maybe
I'll try.
Maybe. Now, Nicholas Mantello, much more reasonable. He was after an old Art Tangent shirt. I mean, 2018 is one of the name checks, and he also said something about it was like a red owl or something on him. Now, this is definitely a Kev question, isn't it? If there's any of the old stock that I could get an address to, we could send them a t-shirt for the factory.
Yeah, well, Kev, you know, it's a good week, this, because it feels like I've done you a favour this week with your Dimcure release. So maybe you could have a look in I don't know where these things even exist, like...
And there must be some old stock. Well, 2018, I'll get the size and the address, Kev. Whatever we can dig out for Nicholas from old Art Tangent stock that's been sitting dust in a warehouse would be wonderful. And Richard Swindles, so I get 3 this week that I found that had nudged me before I picked someone. And Richard Swindles said, would you mind pushing the listeners to the Adam Buxton podcast, where he interviewed UK Executive Director of aid agency MSF, Natalie Roberts. This episode took place or was published on the 30th of September, and asked the two promoters one pod audience if they would consider donating to the agency. Obviously, listen to the podcast first, don't just go and donate to something you don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like there was an excellent interview with Natalie from the aid agency MSF. I don't know anything about that, but he would like to take his opportunity from his super sub for a jug of joy to point you in the direction of which sounds like a very good cause.
Wow. Well, let's put that up on the group. So extra points for anyone who does that without me and Gavin to do it. So that's Médecins Sans Frontières, I guess, that organisation. So yeah, great. I used to listen to the Adam Buxton podcast, actually, so I'm going to listen to that.
Okay, well, I will do likewise. And someone from the Jug of Joy, Jonathan Bruskin, you are this week's super sub. There will still be, that was 3 I get caught up with there, probably another 2, possibly 3, not including Jonathan, so we can get caught back up now. Can't do flights, international flights, unfortunately. Maybe an EasyJet flight, Glasgow to fucking, I know, Edinburgh, for 19 quid. We could sort something. I don't think that international flights for Australia are ever going to be in our remit.
Never say never, mate. The podcast is growing.
Never say never. I saw merch. Now, I told you guys, I said I use Radiohead as the example, but I never knew what the price were. Even though Radiohead are a pretty decent band and they do try not to rip people off. Shirts at O2, 45 bangers. Hoods, 85 bangers. And then you get specialist merch, jumpers and stuff that we're going up to like the 100 mark, right? So, really, if you're in a venue and there's going to be a huge merch concession, the bands really don't have a lot to work with so you kind of, that's you again. But I looked, other than the tour shots,
stop defending Radiohead for ripping off their fans, mate. Come on.
All that argument aside, some of those shots that were up there's an orange one and there's one that's like it's got the lyrics on it. The same shirt, it's the exact same shirt in the same print. £45 at a gig you were at. $18.99 on ISO merch. The hoodies, £85, $39 on it. It's the same hoodie. The ISO merch don't have the tour stock, but the other ones, especially the orange one, is one I identified fucking straight away. I'm like, that shirt is £45 here, $18.99. That's without a discount. Now, we're going to get no credit for this, James, because it's not a discount code, but we'll just try to give the people what they need. Black Eye 15 for as long as that Black Friday one runs for, we'll get you 15% off. If by the time this comes out, that one's expired, use pod 10 and you'll get 10% off. I seem to recall reading somewhere that the Black Friday one was going to last for a while longer. So, use Black Eye 15, but if there's a wee note section, tell them we sent you. So Ali's not like, well, what happened there? I never saw many of your codes getting used. Radiohead t-shirts, less than half price from what you're buying them at the show, and then with a further pod discount. I mean, what fucking more do you want? Like, I'm saying, James,
I do know what you're saying, mate. That sounds fucking banging. So
What
yeah,
else have also gone there? Because see, do you ever wake up sometimes and say, I wish I had Brady for Conjurer's signature, like an autograph? Do you ever wake up and think that?
it has happened. Yeah.
Well, it happens to me too. You can go and get the new On-Self album and you get it with a signed card if it's through ISO merch. Take the same discount codes, go and get yourself the Conjurer record, vinyl, CD, if you don't give a shit about Radiohead music or merch.
Well, I did notice that at Damnation you did get a record, even though Conjurer have definitely played Arctangent more times than Damnation.
Played Damnation first though, didn't they? Which is a fucking running...
Is that true? Is that true?
We played Damnation 2015, so what, did you have one before 2015? You don't even know. See, I know my dates in my fucking lineups, mate, so don't argue with me about this. Look, it's absolutely beautiful. I know now we've actually got Overhead the Albatross to go, because there's no way you bought that album behind you. That was sent to you for free.
I want a signed Brady one. So while we're talking about tour, Gav, you collected loads of merch during the summer. I've just remembered it's in my cupboard. So and you have stuff for me, so we need to somehow.
What absolutely, and also more importantly, like, because my brother comes up every week. Did you say to James Smith, we lost the C-shirt now? Aye, Stuart. But what you're doing is saying up. Aye, he's getting it. Right, it is what I mean. I know I've never said to you, but I need to get him to shop. So he just like, I need my wee lost the C-shirt, Gav.
As in, it's his shirt, it's not yours.
But I've got it's a Critopsy album.
I've got a bag of shit. Yeah.
And I've got like every time like a band can't get in touch with you because you don't reply to anything, and they send vinyl, so they send me two. So I think I've got your Devil Soul to Soul vinyl. I've got your about 3 or 4 vinyl at least downstairs that are yours that have just been sent to me because you don't reply to people.
Happy days. These can all join each other.
Right, okay then, James, let's fire a couple of questions in and then we'll get this one wrapped up.
Okay, cool. Well, I thought this question sort of fit quite well with your gig review. So Samuel Iden says, all right, gents, James speaks a lot about agents filtering new music onto his radar. Firstly, Gav, do you have this experience too? And secondly, how often, if at all, are you going to gigs for bands you don't know and potentially finding new bands that way? Samuel's just moved to Bristol and he's going to gigs almost weekly, and it seems like a treasure trove of potential.
Yeah, I mean, and the difference between James and I, Samuel, is James can go to 2 festivals and a lot more slots across a lot more genres. So I think the filtering process for you, James, be it Kneecap or, I don't know, Worn Out, is it's quite expansive. Damnation, until this year, only really had the 24 or 30 slots we've had, and it's like, it's difficult. I mean, I'll be put on to new bands, like Dimcure, via, that wasn't an agent, that was via a friend, or Meryl Streak, because I'll see people talking about it and I'll go and listen myself. But so it's not like you can't be a new band and then find your way into Damnation quite quickly, but it's unusual. And I'm really, it's not that I don't need agents to filter the bands like me, but I think that I'm quite well versed in what works for Damnation, and I've already got like a long waiting list of Hidden Mothers and Dinner Celestial Birds. I mean, you think about, like, I mentioned Mastiff earlier. Mastiff, I've never played Damnation properly, done the pre-show. Pupil Slicer, I've never played Damnation. LLNN, I've never even played Damnation properly. Just in the Underdark, I've never played Damnation properly. You think about the bands that I've just never managed to squeeze in, who I know are amazing, who I would love at Damnation. It's an incredible list, but even needing either a filtering process to, so here's another band. That said, I was willing to go to Kona another night to see Chain to the Bottom of the Ocean. So it's rare, but that kind of night was, oh, that sounds good, I like Conan. It's no difficult to go up to Stereo and see another band, it'd be great. But even if that's it's so rare. I mean, even that, also I knew who that band were. Like, I'd heard about them before. It wasn't like that was just a completely new name to me either. So I'm trying to think of a situation where I need that filtering process, but I feel like you'd come for the spectrum for you is like fucking all encompassing. I mean, you can't possibly know, especially at Trees, all the up and coming bands and fucking pop and punk and the rest of the genres you book.
Yeah, I mean, and when he talks about, like, basically, are you going to gigs to see to find potentially new up and coming bands. I mean, it makes me feel a bit sad to say this. And look, I'm here to be honest, so this is my truthful answer. But it is not an efficient way of finding bands. Because I could go out tonight, or I could have gone to the LLNN gig and seen one band that I'd never seen before, or I could sit at home and listen to 20 like I did last night, and sift through a bunch of emails, submissions and stuff. So I feel like, again, being totally honest, once you got a family, it's just like a different, I don't want to be out every night, and I can't be out every night. And even if I could, I don't actually want to be out every night. I mean, you've had quite an unusual run this week, but that's not the normal run of things. And like, I do wish I could go to more shows, but I look at some people in the industry, particularly in London, and I kind of wonder if they ever see their kids. So I'm quite happy going to some shows, but it's not how I find new bands. It used to be. So when I was living in London, like 20 years ago, I was like basically just out and about seeing bands. I think I thought I was I was like living the dream. I was basically like, you can go to a gig for free. They will let you in on this idea that you might play this festival, which, let's face it, 2003's in 2010 was not as well known or as respected as it is now, but people would still put you on the list. And, you know, I saw, like, I've told you this before, I saw like Ed Sheeran in a fucking tiny venue. I saw Mumford & Sons in a tiny venue. But also, I was trying to think about what like, of the more not cool, but relevant bands, because Mumford & Sons and Ed Sheeran aren't that relevant to Trees and A2G. But like had to Google when this was, but in October 2008, I went to Dublin Castle and saw So Much From Afar, Maybe She Will. I don't know, I feel like maybe I've mentioned that before, I'm not sure, but Maybe She Will on their debut album, and So Much From Afar hadn't even released an EP at that point. It's like just being like, I must have heard somewhere that one of those bands was good, and then just blag myself a ticket and I just go and see them. And I can still remember watching Maybe She Will in that room. It's a brilliant way to discover bands, because
Yeah, I mean, that's bizarre because I must have been on the same tour and seen them at Captain's Rest. They maybe she will have a woman in the band.
I don't know.
Well, that doesn't help then, James, does it? I remember everyone up in a gig so vividly, except was there a woman there or not?
I was too transfixed by John Helps. But it was like, it is a great way to see how fucking amazing a live band they are. And you can't quite get that you definitely can't get that sat at home, but you can be much more efficient. And look, 17 years ago or whatever, I wasn't running two quite big festivals. I was running one pretty small festival. And it's just like a different world that I exist in now. So like, I just can't go to as many gigs as I used to. And there are other ways, more efficient ways of finding bands.
Yeah, but it will never stop being impressive to be blown away by a band that you didn't know and get in a gig, and then having that power, I suppose, now to then give them another opportunity at your festival if it suits with us, and that's great as well. And it feels very organic, and it feels like, well, one of my biggest problems with this industry is the industry and the people involved in it. And when you do something like that that's completely honest and organic, and like you've made that connection yourself, and you're like, I want you to be at my event, and cut out all the middlemen. It's always a good feeling, but it's a tough one, because even if you're doing that, all those bands I just mentioned, then you're leapfrogging them to be like, all right, well, I think they're all great though, and I saw them all once at a gig that I might not know, and I've never had a chance to get all of them on Damnation. So it's not that clear cut, but that is a good way. It is a good way to discover music. Festivals are a very efficient way, like going to something like an Art Tangent, especially because I don't go see many bands at Art Tangent completely blind, but I'm definitely seeing a lot of bands for the first time. So I've heard the band on Spotify, or you've recommended them, or our friends recommend, and I'm excited to go to see them. But that's the first time I'll see them on the stage is at Art Tangent, which is always a good way as well, because there's a lot of things for promote, because you're doing that almost when that third day of how busy is the tent. Like, how's our setup on stage? Is this something I could work with? Like, there's a thought process going in your head that you don't even realise it subconsciously. Like, would this work for my festival? Is this going to work? And then I'll ask James, how much did they cost? Because if one of them's £100 and one of them's £5,000, I might also just go with £100 one.
Yeah, 100%. And there's still, and I have like a bank. This isn't written down, but like a bank in my head of like bands that I saw that I still want to book, like Duel at Damnation last year.
Yeah.
Which just fucking blew me away. As I definitely want them at Tangent one year. So fucking good. So like you're like saving stuff up for years to come in a way. When I do really like going to festivals, and that is one thing I would like to do more of. Because it's a great way to discover bands, and it's a great way to just see who are the best bands. And some bands are a bit shit live, and some bands are fucking blow your head off live. So yeah.
Aye, exactly. Okay, one more then, since the time's ticking on. And Andrew Stevenson, James, how different do you think the Trees lineup would be by now if you'd never started Art Tangent? Would Blood Incantation be playing? Well, I'm not playing either for Stephen. That's for Andrew Stevenson, so that's a problem. But aye, would you have death metal at Art Tangent and Trees if you never had an Art Tangent?
I think it's a great question. I mean, so obviously I don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to just give you what I think. I very much doubt that Trees would ever have got to the Blood Incantation stage. I even doubt if Trees would ever have got to like an Opeth or a Devon Townsend. But I definitely think at least part of the lineup would be more weird and experimental than it currently is. Because I think you can't, I can't avoid that you book with your own like music taste. It's like there aren't many bands I would book that I really would never, even the bands that is just not aimed at me, like something like Rory that played at Trees last year. I think she's fucking great. Like really amazing. Like I don't want to listen to Baby Lasagna, but they were fucking brilliant at Trees last year. It's like there's loads of stuff that plays that is not my sort of thing, but I really can see how great it is. Having said that, when you do want some of the stuff that is your thing, like I wanted Coil Guns at Trees, and like this year we got Glassjaw, and I feel like if I hadn't sort of started ATG and like wet my taste, I don't know what the phrase is. Wet my taste is not the phrase, but I'll say Dimcure beers again. Fuck's sake.
And in the blender.
Do not clip that, Shifty. But basically satiated myself with the...
Put the shovel down, James. Put the shovel down.
I think if ATG didn't exist, I definitely would have gone down some weird rabbit holes. And bands like Arab Strap maybe would have been at Trees, or Mogwai might have been at Trees. Like that, I can't really quite see that Blood Incantation would. But yeah, I definitely think Trees would be different if ATG didn't exist.
And again, it's back to that subconscious thing as well. It's not about, because see, for me, it's not about booking the bands like, oh, this is, again, it's not the Gav's ego trip. It's no, or this way. But you do want to get behind something that you truly, truly believe in. I mean, I want to get behind the Damnation that I truly believe in. I look at the lineup, I'm like, this is just like, okay, but they're like a black metal band there that I don't know, am I the biggest fan in the world, like a Spectral Wound? No, but I truly believe them. I truly believe they're a good, and I went and I did enjoy a bit of them, but I'm not going to sit and listen to Spectral Wound. I'm not going to listen to, Testament. But I booked Testament, I would be all behind that booking, and I would be pushing it because I believe in the band, and when I see Testament, I quite enjoy them as well. But like what you're saying, it's not about just say that's what I've listened to. I'm a post-rock, post-metal guy, and Testament's not my favourite band, but I'm still going to try just every bit as hard because I believe in them, and I believe in everything they put out. That I'm a bit like, I'd be excited about it, whereas I get what you mean. I mean, if I had a full lineup of bands that I just that could sell tickets, and I didn't believe in them, if I had a full lineup of your Five Finger Death Punches and that, and I was just financially successful, I would feel difficult for me to come onto this podcast or go onto the forum or the group and tell you that I thought that Shinedown and Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch were the best thing ever, and can't believe how lucky I am to have them with Danish, because that wouldn't be the truth.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, well, particularly since the podcast started, you really have got to believe it, haven't you? Because people can look you in the eye and fucking tell.
Yeah, I mean, if I need to get on this podcast and lie about stuff, I'd just rather not do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I think the whole point is to come on so you can enjoy it as well. It's not, exactly, I'm glad the art turned down, because you probably would have had to scratch that itch, and it's you can't. It's no easy just to make Pupil pop. The reason there's a Pupil pop and we don't have one of that level where you can get Napalm Death and Taylor Swift on the same things, because that's a difficult one to pull off. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you've got trees with that capacity, you can just start having like death metal and obscure post metal alongside pop punk. I mean, it's like you get to the point that it's diminishing returns, that you're starting to lose people that are a bit like, that thing's not for me. That's not my crowd.
Yeah, agreed.
But talking of things that I love, talking things that I can just believe in,
things that are not your crowd.
things that are not my crowd. Lose Brews, fucking Lose Brews. The sauce that absolutely no one has ever asked for has arrived. Anal Vomit 4, the shite before Christmas. It's like, how is he selling this stuff? I mean, what's sort of fucking, what's his crowd? That's what's his crowd? When I went, let's go, Anal Vomit 4, the shite before Christmas. And the artwork on it seems to be like, it's a shite with 2 bits of sweet corn stuck in it for eyes and a Santa hat. So, completely on brand for Lou and his batshit company. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you should buy Anal Vomit 4 or any of the anal vomits, and there's nothing to do with the name. It's just like, have you ever actually tried Anal Vomit?
Yeah, mate. I used to put Anal Vomit in my I think it was the first one. If you get the dosage right in like if you make yourself a curry or do a lot of like Thai and
Okay. I mean,
Asian
if we're talking batch cooking and we're putting a splurge in, right, okay, I can get bored of that. I'm saying, do not go in this one. Don't raw dog it. Do not raw dog the Anal Vomit.
No. Don't put it on a sandwich or anything. Fuck me.
Don't get a hot dog and just get yourself a bit of fucking, unless you want to go to hospital. So it's fucking wild. I mean, he puts a gas mask on to wear it. Hey, wear it. It probably does that too. He puts a gas mask on to cook it, and then he puts a gas mask on to smother himself in it, because he has a wee freak in the sheets. So this fucking Adries went all over the gap, mate. I had one dim skewer. What is this, 42% or something? Fuck's sake. So he's got that. He's been on one lately. He's got, clearly Christmas come up. It must be a good time for him. He has got a mulled glaze, a hot cranberry sauce, which has a Die Hard theme for some reason. Why wouldn't it? Spicy jerk, and he's got his black garlic and truffle one. They've all been restocked alongside all the restock he'd just done last week and the week before. So there's tons on there. Christmas presents, or just for you to enjoy yourself before Christmas. But it sounds like these ones, the mild glaze and the hot cranberry sauce and the little jerk, they sounds like ones that are suited to Christmas dinners or the chicken or the turkey leftover sandwiches. So make sure you go check out all of them. Don't do what my pal Tim done and go and buy 5 or 6 sauces and not use the code. And I said, why do you not use the code? He was like, to support small business. He's like, I'd be using the code to support us, because then he knows then he knows that we sent you. He just thinks you just bought that now. And it's not because the pod sent you. And he's like, all right, I never thought about it like that. Aye, that's why I'm fucking thinking of it, okay? So use pod 15. Don't be like Tim. Use pod 15. Get yourself 15% off your order. Let him know we sent you. So then he's like, okay, I can support the pod. And then everybody's fucking happy. Get yourself a bunch of new sauces. And if you're that way inclined, get yourself a wee Anal Vomit for the shite before Christmas too. losebrews.co.uk. Pod 15 to check out.
Good work, Gav. Good.
On the record, son.
Let's do it. Okay, my song is Golden Arrows by Human Fly. So Human Fly, as I mentioned before, are playing their first show in 13 years, Arctangent. Luckily Hayden knows them. Otherwise, I don't think I'd ever have really like explored it because it just would have seemed like a thing that was never going to happen. I don't go around trying to reform bands much, but I fucking loved Human Fly, right? They had an album called Awesome Science, which I just, when I was doing I was trying to put together an album to the decade list, which I didn't ever finish, but they were in it. That album is that good. Now, do you remember when I got the Weed Dude song wrong because they weren't playing it at Damnation? I'm basically doing the same to my own festival now because I think they're going to play the other album in full, but I'm going to choose a song from the album they're not going to play.
Okay.
Maybe Human Fly can clarify to me what they're going to play, or maybe they'll play this song. But look, if you like Mastodon's more progressive and melodic parts, the bits of Crack the Sky or definitely all of Crack the Sky, but then bits of like Leviathan and Blood Mountain that are more fucking out there and have got melody and stuff, then you need to check out fucking Human Fly. They're from the UK and you fucking missed them first time around. Don't miss them this time around. Because seriously, they're a really, really fucking brilliant band. So this is just me putting one song on, go and discover the whole thing. It's their first show for 13 years. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I know what like bang the drum too loudly about Damnation, but that's another one that you either would have caught or missed when they played Damnation first.
I don't think I've ever seen them live. Do you know what year they played?
I'm going to go 2008.
Maybe I did. I'm not giving you the fucking credit for that, mate.
No, don't give me any credit. I'll take the rest of the lineup. So the Human Fly, great band. We enjoyed them, and Bing Paul had them on one of the Night of Salvations as well. It was packed in one of the Leeds pubs. So I think, I mean, Hayden's always said, it's like, I think Hayden thinks that he is also part of Damnation. He goes, I just tell the boys for Human Fly that they can have guest lists each year. I know Hayden, but we're up to like, it's on 60 quid a ticket, mate. And then they played like 15 years ago, maybe we need to rein that in a wee bit. But I'm glad it's got you the Reform show. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys again. That's you have mentioned a few times that, I mean, how much you always enjoyed Human Flying. If they came back, you would do it. So good shout. I thought they had an album. I quickly checked Spotify. I thought they had an album cover. It was like horses, and it was like a tidal wave, and it was like, was it horses in that? And I just had a look and I don't see it. So unless I'm mixing up another band, but I'm almost certain because I had them on tour with The Ocean and Earthtone 9 when Earthtone 9 first came back. And I'm convinced, I'm away to check it out once we come off this podcast because it's annoying me now that that's no that I'm mixing up another band. I am going to go with Pupil in the theme of this podcast. Listen, you can let us know if you have no interest in listening to me talking about gigs in the future. It was one of those ones where they just happened in my week and I was quite happy to share about it. Pupil Slicer, the new album Fleshwork is out. It's good. I've only heard it a couple of times, so I'm not going to sit and say it's the greatest thing ever happened or it's a piece of shite. What I've heard so far is I've really enjoyed it. The track Fleshwork from the album Fleshwork was my favourite one on the first couple of listens. It's the one that the fire alarm went on in the middle of and cut off. So it was unfortunate that happened during that tune. But it's a big, meaty riff. It just sort of batters you right through the whole track. Then you've got Kate's sort of squeals and she's got weird vocals, which makes it work. The cleans and the grills, and it's quite diverse for that, but with a same simple riff. And with Pupil Slicer, that's a change in tact for this one song anyway, because the whole thing's that like mathcore fucking signature changes and been a wee bit all over the place, Dillinger Escape Plan like, and this one's much more, it's got more of a hardcore vibe to it, which sometimes things just don't need to be complicated to be great. And this one in particular is just one that stuck out me. I thought it was keep going. I gave it Worn Out a shout last week, and I've already got LLNN on the record from a previous episode. I thought that'd be a nice wee wrap it in a bow. And go and check those guys out as well. Listen, another great UK band. We've got fucking tons of them out there. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this at the minute. This level of support that some of these bands like Conjurers and Svalbard and Employed themselves with Pupil Slicers again. Let's keep it going because it breeds nothing but good things for the future.
Agreed, mate. Agreed. The UK scene is strong right now.
Absolutely. And that is that. And fucking hell, next week. And then that'll be the one that's going out for the day that we're away to the live tour. Where the hell has the year gone? And yes, James, I will go and start thinking about my album of the year list. I'm full deep. I feel I'm better prepared than, but it's keeping up to me now. It's keeping up to me. I will speak to you soon.
See you then, mate.